Greetings and welcome you guys to my first ever look tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to transform yourself into a fierce Celtic warrior. And we're gonna start off by, I'm gonna start off by pulling my hair out of the way. And if you have makeup on, remove that, but I never have makeup on, like ever. It's not my thing, as you guys know. So this video is kindly sponsored by Elflove. The jewelry and especially the glorious hair beads you're gonna see are made by them. I seriously love them so much. Yes, and my cat also has very strong opinions because their jewelry is glorious. Now, as you can see, I have some skin imperfections, like some cold sore residue over here. We could cover it up if we wanted to, but I have a better idea. If the pimples are not fresh, like don't put anything on your pimples, like ever. And if they've already kind of healed and if there's already a crust, I tend to just turn it into battle scars because it's just gonna look even more realistic, and also it saves me from covering it up with concealer and people are gonna see anyways. So yeah, I'm just gonna drawing basic shapes that come to mind, just something that I think was gonna look good, and I'm trying not to put any product onto the crust. I mean, not that I think it matters, but be a bit careful when you do that. And I'm using an eyebrow pen and a lip liner, so most of the things you're gonna see are more expensive SFX products because I'm a cheapskate sometimes and I love working with what I already have, you know. So this is Scar Wax, by the way, or nose putty, and I put this on the area where I want my lip scar to pop. I've decided that I wanted to make it larger and more realistic looking, and I'm using an SFX spatula to smooth it out a little bit, and a little goes a long way. So if you're doing that, you know, don't put too thick of a piece of wax on your face because otherwise it's gonna come clean off. And if you have troubles with wax sticking to your fingers, you can use Vaseline on your fingers to avoid that. And sorry, I got out of frame there. It was a bit difficult with the mirror. So yeah, just smooth it out until it's all flat around the edges. And then you can either make the texture in the middle a bit rougher, or in my case, I was very, you know, happy with the way it looked. Then I'm going to put some blush on it, just a regular pink blush that has no shimmer in it, to emulate the wound, like the swelling and the redness of the face around wounds. That's very important. Using a pink or red cool toned blush or eyeshadow with no shimmer in it. That's important because wounds don't glitter. Then I'm also using brown, yellow and purple eyeshadows, and I'm blending this out with a fluffy brush. Sometimes I also use my fingers. Mix and match your eyeshadows until you're happy with the result. I'm just playing around a bit, placing it very lightly. Once again, a little goes a long way. You don't want to look like a rainbow, but like somebody, you know, broke your face. On to the most fun part, the fake blood. This is a specific blood paste and I love it so much. And I put this where I want the dried blood effect to be, like where I want the cut to be, and I dab around it a little bit to make it more realistic. And then I repeat the same on my cheeks. It's really important to be a little bit messy because, you know, there is no such thing as a clean and perfect wound, especially if you're a warrior that has been running through the forest all day. It gets everywhere. Speaking from experience here. Then as an alternative, if you don't have blood paste and don't want to invest in any, I'm using a lipstick palette to also make the bruising better and also, you know, emulate blood. Here I'm using an old lip tint. I'm using a very dark purple-ish tone and a very light red. That's what I use for fake blood around my face and on my mouth a lot because it doesn't stain the face as much as food coloring does. And yeah, now I'm going in with the blood paste on my cheek once again. But once again, you can also do that with lipstick. The blood paste is not a must. I used to use lipsticks for the longest time and yeah, it works just as fine. Just get yourself a lipstick that is a really nice deep red color, looks a little bit like dried blood, and you're gonna be good to go. There, it looks nice and swollen and ugly. Now to the fun part. Can you tell I'm excited? This is my water paint, face paint palette by Rical. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. And I'm using this, mixing like blue and purple to create those swirls on my face. Just some random war paint, and you can do anything you like. And be very careful when you put anything near your eyes. I myself have really sensitive skin and very sensitive eyes, but for myself this paint works just fine. I know that I can put it close to my eyes, but you know, don't be too over ambitious with that, especially if you've never done that before, and you know, be very careful when you're doing that. And I tend to prefer to use my fingers around my eyes, especially when it gets close to the eyes, like really close, you're gonna see in a bit, because I have more control over what I'm doing, and I'm the kind of person who will poke themselves into the eye with a paintbrush. Not for no reason am I wearing something that has quick arms. Now, the makeup is done. Let's get on to the hair, and yes, I'm not gonna wash my hands. Now, I'm just grabbing a section to the left side of my head, and then I'm starting to French braid my strands as tightly, and you know, it doesn't have to be neat. It's good if it looks raggedy and worn and torn and whatnot. And yeah, I'm used to French braiding on myself, so apologies if my fingers are in the way, but I think most of you know how to French braid anyways, and if not, I'm pretty sure you can find some nice videos on YouTube. Here I'm gonna add in the first hair bead. That one is a little bit tricky to get in the way I'm doing it, especially if you're not using clips. I would recommend to use a clip and clip down the other two sections while you're inserting the ring onto the third strand, but I'm used to doing it like that, and I also forgot to bring a clip, and I did not want to get up because now my camera for once has focused on me and stayed focused. So I just gently bend the hair over, and then I push the ring onto the strand and pull it through. And then I proceed with the braiding, and it's a little bit tricky to get the ring in place, but it's something that does take a little bit of practice. I'm also going to show you how to add a hair strand in a more, how to add a hair bead in a more basic and easy way, the more standard way, but I'm too extra right now for, you know, to just braid and then push a single hair bead over the braid. So why not incorporate it into the braid? Finishing off the braid and tying it off with a hair elastic, a small one. And something that I always do is I always make sure there are no hairs stuck in the hair elastic. It makes me freak out so bad. I don't like that when the braid can't swing freely and I then end up ripping out my hair. Now, because I left my hair in its wild and unruly estate, no heat tool on it, because once again this is not a flawless look. That's not supposed to be a flawless look. I want to look wild. I'm also braiding off the part where some curls are starting to come through to tame it down a little bit, and this is really calling for adding feathers, which I don't have at the moment right now because I haven't found feathers in a long time. And that's also a very neat trick. Look at how I'm wrapping the hair elastic. It gives off the look of having used a leather band without any effort, like zero effort. So here you're gonna see me use like how to put on a hair bead. First of all, twist the hair and then fold it together, and then you just push the hair bead over the hair strand and pull it through the remaining hair. I hope this is somewhat clear, but yes, and then you just push it up until it sits and rests on its own. This is one of my two favorite hair beads, by the way. I have two by Vindalf, that one and the Tree of Life one that I wear so often. And if hair beads are too difficult for you or, you know, seem too much effort, you can use some of their ear cuffs and just clip it into your hair, because that way you save yourself from all the trouble you've just seen me go through. And if you're not an experienced braider, maybe you want to go a little easy, and you can use that method as well. Now I'm just smearing around on my war paint to make the edges a bit blurred and, you know, less nice looking, because I'm always aiming for a look that looks somewhat authentic and not too perfect. And I think it makes a big difference, especially in person. And if you're extra funny, you can use the same lip tint that you used earlier. Choose whichever one you like. On your teeth, I'm mixing the bright and the dark one. Do the thing, and then look how ugly your smile gets. Now, on to the last touches, but basically that's it. I'm just putting on some jewelry, some more Celtic knots, and this is the finished look, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this little tutorial of mine. It's the first time making a tutorial. Also, don't forget to check out Vindalf. I'm going to leave a link in the description bar to their products. And let me know what you are going to dress up as on Samhain or Halloween this week. Have a great evening, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next week. Bye bye.